say this is not like an overnight thing that
Okay.
you're taking risks.
First off, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you on socials?
Okay. So my name is Sunday Miller. I have an organization called Generation MomMe that was birthed out of my own experiences. It is a maternal health education platform. It's an organization that educates, I'll say people, because right now my audience is doulas and community health workers. But the vision and overall is to help women who are experiencing or going through pregnancy or postpartum, and to prevent maternal morbidities and to have a better health outcome after having a baby. And so that is the overall, like, overarching vision and goal of the organization itself. Where you said socials. So we've had that conversation about how much I have to build a presence on the internet and build a bigger presence on the internet. I've been more in community-based settings. So as far as socials goes, you can find me on Instagram at Generation Mommy. I also have a website, generationmommy.com. I'm newly to TikTok, so we'll try that TikTok world and see how it lands. So.
Okay, so you say your personal experiences. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, what happened?
Yeah. So I'm a mom of two. I have a son who is a teenager, and then I have a daughter where there are 8 years apart. So, two different
gap.
Huge gap, two different time frames, but and I will say two different birthing experiences. But I also recognize that there were gaps. So with my first child, I was forced into having a cesarean. I say that I was forced. That's my experience. So let me say that. Let me pause. And some people were like, provider, things of that nature. But my personal experience, I, was forced into having a C-section, but there could have been a provider intervention that could prevent that cesarean. Fast forward, 8 years later, I had my daughter. I ended up, I wanted the experience to be completely different from the first. And so I told myself, I educated myself, I advocated for myself to have a vaginal birth after cesarean. So what is known as a VBAC. And so I had a successful VBAC, praise God. I give all glory to God, educating myself, advocating for myself, and being determined of how I wanted my birthing experience to be. So fast forward to all of that, had my baby girl, and then I experienced shortly after a near-death experience with hemorrhaging. Yeah, so again, down to provider neglect and provider care.
Oh, goodness.
And so with that being said, I was struck with, I needed to help others get through those different things, those things that I have survived through, those experiences that I have managed to take and to turn it into something else. And so I wanted to create a space for other women who could possibly experience that, to try to help prevent some of those experiences from happening. 80% of maternal mortality and morbidity is due to a preventable. And so when I recognized that and when I did my research, I'm like, what is happening? Where's the disconnect, right? This is me opening my own eyes of, like, there's some systemic things that are happening.
For sure.
There are a lot of things that, where there's educating and being aware, self-aware, because I had no idea about a VBAC after having my son. You know, it wasn't until my second pregnancy that I realized, like, okay, I can do things differently. I don't have to have the same experience that I had the first go around. And so this is where we landed.
Okay.
I became a doula, a postpartum doula, literally shortly after having my daughter.
So I became a postpartum doula because I wanted to, and what I thought in my mind was, I can help women to keep them from experiencing. I could be that advocate for women, how I advocated for myself, and also be that support piece once they after having their baby, and that started in 2020. And so, of course, with the pandemic, like everything, a lot of things were limited. And so, people didn't necessarily want you around their babies. People didn't want anybody in their home. There's a lot
Right.
of different things. So everything that I was doing was in virtual setting. Right. And these were like people that I knew. These are people that were being referred to me, but me not really actually feeling like I was making the impact that I knew that I wanted to make, right? All the while I'm still working my 9 to 5. I'm still,
Wow.
being a mom. Again, my daughter is under 1 at that time. And so there's a lot of things that I'm juggling, right? Fast forward to 2022. I come across as I'm like, how do I be more involved in the community in Richmond? Like, how do I really be boots on the ground and really actually do the work that I know that I'm being called to, right? And so I found this program that Virginia Department of Health that was they were launching, and it was one of the first. They were launching a community health worker certification program. And so it's a newly, I don't want to say newly workforce, but it's just kind of getting off the ground. But so a lot of people don't necessarily know what a community health worker is, which is a person who is a support advocate, someone who educates people in their community to kind of, and it doesn't necessarily relate to just maternal health. That's just my specialty of like, I wanted to be more so that my niche in maternal health. And so I got connected with that community, stayed connected with them throughout these past few years, got connected. And it really was God led how I got connected, because I literally was kind of on the internet, like, who can I find? Who, like, what organization, like who's out here that I can connect with? And so I got connected with someone who is my mentor to this day. Her name is Stephanie Tony. She has her own organization called Community CHW Strength. And she has been, and I mentor her in this interview because she has been a mentor to me with starting this entrepreneurship fully, number one. And just being like God led our relationship of just getting to a space of like, you can do this, you can be an impact, and just watching her and working alongside her, working with her organization, I got into training and instructing. And so that's where the education piece comes into. So I was training community health workers to become community health workers, and I loved it. Like, I could still be at home and be flexible with my children. And I got the experience of teaching and the experience of just helping someone make better informed decisions. And so I was like, listen, I started Generation MomMe back in 2020. Like, let's shift this thing over into an educational platform. So here we are teaching about maternal health education.
So now you shifted from, working there to now you're on your own. What has that been like?
So let me say this. That was done part-time.
Okay.
My background, I've had a background in banking and finance, 14 years.
Okay.
And so again, you'll learn that I do a lot of things. So I'm still working 9 to 5, still doing that at nighttime with instructing. community health worker, still been a mom, still doing that. So how I shifted, I just really got to a point where I was being tugged and pulled in multiple different directions, and really getting connected with God, getting going deeper into my faith. It was a call, and I was like, it's time. It's time for you to shift. It's time for you to really put the effort and the energy into building your business, number one, and to really do what your purpose, what you're being called to do. And that is to support women, to educate women on maternal health, create health and wellness lifestyle habits. And that's really the sole purpose of Generation Mommy. We want to create more moms, more generations that are going to be healthy. And because it starts with that foundation, it really truly starts with the foundation of from pregnancy on up. And that's with motherhood, really and truly. So.
What was that like, really giving over that trust? And what did it look like spiritually, and what did it look like in the physical realm?
Great question. It's something that I'm still growing through every day, but it's a decision. It looks like me praying and crying and talking to God a lot, like in every decision, in everything that I do, going to God for all things. It was scary to take that leap because it was everything that I knew, right? It was my routine. It was how I fed my children. It was how I bought my house. It was all the things that, but understanding that the source was all God, and not to get too churchy, but the resources was the job, meaning that God placed me into this position. God gave me this role. You know what I mean? Steward the role. Do your best. Every day, show up. Take care of your children. And I was in that routine. And when it was time to transition, it was time to do something different. It was like, and let me say this is not like an overnight thing. Okay, this is not an overnight thing. This is a tugging and pulling. This is a, hey, there's a sign here. Hey, another sign here. Are you going to go through that door? Are you going to close this door? Because I need you to walk through this door type of thing, right? And so it was like, oh, Lord. It got to the point where it was just like, it forces you to make that decision to trust God fully. It literally forced me, things that was transpiring in my life forced me to be like, yeah, it's time for me to move into it fully. And so again, it's a daily journey. It's a daily journey. There's some days I'm like, okay, what's next? Yeah, okay, what do I need to do now? But I am grateful that when I feel like that, I open up the Bible app. I open up, I started doing praise and worship, and it seems like the answers start to reveal itself when I do that. And that's really it. Like that's really it. But it's not a one decision, it's a everyday decision too.
Okay. I'm gonna dig a little deep in there because we talked a bit about where I am. So I'm really trying to figure things out. And I know God has the answers, but looking at it practically, it's like, okay, I don't know what's happening. Like it's the feeling of like needing to be in control, even though I released that feeling and that want, or it's not a need, over to God. But it's like, you say it happened gradually for you. When you say that, do you mean that you released your job over time, as in you released your payments from that job over time? Or did you mean that in the spiritual realm?
In a spiritual realm, more so releasing, and like physically too. Like I had to be like, hey, this is my last day. Of course you have to do that. not really fully knowing what's next or the full plan. And I know it's scary. I think the practical steps is, I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, was like using what you have, right? Because I think that we look at certain things and we think that we're supposed to have this certain lifestyle. We're supposed to have, and don't get it twisted. I do believe that, nice things are great. Like it's great, right? But it's just things.
Right.
Right. And yes, I get it. You gotta pay the bills. And I'm still figuring that out every single day. Like, what do I need to, borrow from here or pay here? Let me, make some things work. It's budgeting, right? And it's the same thing when you have millions of dollars. You're still budgeting, right? You look at it as this, oh, you have a plethora of money. And yes, money is a resource. It's a tool. You have to look at money as it's a tool, and God provides that tool to be able to get the things that I need to sustain in life. But I always refer back to, and I will say this because I know you're saying, like, give me practical tools, right? Entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey.
I've heard.
It is a spiritual journey, and it really requires a lot of faith and trust in a higher power. And I say that because you're taking risk.
Yeah.
You're taking, and for me, I'm not a big risk taker, but I am also like, you're there, man. Let's go type of person.
Yes,
right.
Me too.
So we're gonna take calculated risk. It's as an adult, we're gonna take calculated risk. Like, where can I, make this happen without taking from the next thing? I don't know if there's a real answer, because it really is a spiritual journey of what I'm learning, and I'm not even fully a year in, but I know that God provides.
He does, and that's just period. Just
And
that's
just what it is.
Okay. I mean, I see that. I definitely see that, and I'm just wondering, like, from other people's perspective, like, is there something that I'm missing? Also, too, I feel like right now I'm in a season where I'm starting where I am, but my gift is not helping me monetarily. So it's like the shift is like, well, I don't know when this is going to happen. And I don't know how to shift. Like, also, that's another thing that I'm working on. Like, with these interviews, these are valuable for me, the audience, and the business owner. So how do I shift that monetarily?
That's a great question. And the answer that comes to mind, right? Like, one, like, truly pray and fast to say, God, is this the direction that you want me to go? Let's start there. And then, because where God gives vision, he gives provision.
Amen.
And so if that is where God is leading you, you believe that's where God is leading you. I've been praying, like, God, build the network for me. Like, put me around people that is going to help me get to the next level, because I have the heart for the work, but the business side of it is like, that's where I'm navigating. I'm navigating it just along with you. I'm navigating, like, how we make that money grow, right? Yeah. How do we scale that money without feeling like we are not walking in true authenticity? Because I know for me, the only thing that I want to be is authentic in this work. I want to, like, I don't want to feel like I'm forcing anything. And so it's funny enough, I was just listening to a podcast last night.
What's the podcast called?
It's Woman Evolve, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, Woman Evolve. And I was listening to it, and it was an older episode, and I'm like, how did this even come about, right? Like, I'm usually up to date with these episodes, right? But I clicked the play. I'm clicking. I usually do it while I'm clicking, and I'm clicking, and I click the play, and I'm like, oh, this is the old one. I didn't hear this one. I must have missed this one, but it was exactly what I needed to hear, and what she was basically saying about just like with knowing that you are actually walking in your purpose, or if it's the direction that you need to go. It's a feeling. It's a how does am I forcing? Am I tugging and pulling? Is this threatening my safety? There's all these different things that if you get still enough, you could pay attention, and you would be like, okay, yeah, this feels good. Yeah, this feels like I need to go this direction. Like, there's little signs all throughout your day that you have to pay attention to and clear some of the chatter, of course, to be able to make some of these decisions in entrepreneurship.
Okay. Thank you. Let me ask you this. Are you a profit or nonprofit organization?
I am for profit. This is a business. This is an LLC. I don't want to go the nonprofit route just yet. So there's a lot of bylaws with that. I will say that in this business, what I am learning, because I am in public health, right? And a lot of public health organizations are nonprofit.
Okay, yes.
However, there are a lot of stipulations that I am not for what I want the business to be. And just having free will to kind of create and certain things. So while there are certain stipulations, like for accreditation for a doula, like right now I'm building out a course and courses, I'll say, for accreditation for doulas. So getting back to that with the whole, I know we're talking about funding, but again, when I was saying like the network and finding ways to create and build and get that sustainable funding, is really just about like having that network and talking, and you find different ways of like, this is a path where I can get money. This is a path that I can get money. This is another path that, like, is this all aligning with what I want to do? And so what I have found with doing that, like I said, I was instructing for CHWs and training them. There's also a doula certification process as well. And so I said, well, hey, Sunday, you're an instructor. You love to do it. You love teaching. You like create something for doulas. And so that's where I'm at now, building out so that it can be accredited. And what will eventually happen is, and I'm speaking this into existence.
I know that's right.
I'm working it, is that people will start to send people from their organizations from that are doulas when it's time to recertify. Hey, take this course. Hey, you know what I mean? Hey, CHW, do you need some professional development? And so that's the route that I am taking to monetize Generation Mommy while doing meaningful work. So you just have to find a loophole. Every business, like what I will say for any entrepreneur, like, you're not reinventing the wheel. Don't look to reinvent the wheel. Find the problem that you want to solve.
Okay.
Make sure it's measurable. Make sure you can, and when I say measurable, like it's scalable, it can stretch, you can count it, you can see the numbers of it. So for me, and this is just an example, so right now I've been offering like free webinars, free things where people can start to know who I am, know who Generation Mommy is. And that's been my main thing, because I'm shifting into a new field where people don't know me, right? Like no one really knew who I am. But as I continue to show my face in these events, continue to be in these spaces, people are starting to recognize. And then once people start to recognize who you are, I'm like, oh, let me refer you to Sunday. I know she has a maternal health organization, if you need professional development, Generation Mommy is the go-to one. I want people to start to say that. And so with you, I would encourage you to find the problem that you're trying to solve. And this is for any entrepreneur. The problem that you're trying to solve, and find a way to monetize it.
What else is in store for Generation Mommy?
Yeah, so I am looking to build impact. Like that's my what I would like to go into 2026, and like how can I be impactful with the work that I do. I know that, and I'll speak this into like just I know that the vision that God gave me was to have a maternal health hub.
Mm.
And that's how I envision my life. That's how I see myself getting old. And like, yes, we got the hub. Like I'm in the community. Like that's how I see myself, right?
Yeah.
And so that is where I ultimately want to. And I don't want to say end, but that's the impact that I want to build towards, which is to have that maternal health hub. It's a resource center. It's a place where pregnant and postpartum women, they say, listen, I need a resource. I'm lacking in this area. I'm like, here, look, I can go to this place and they're going to put me in the right direction, because really it's about who you know. It's about who you know.
That's true.
It's about like who's going to point me in the right direction so that we can solve a problem. Like if it's transportation, if it's, I need this provider information, or if it's insurance or whatever. Ultimately, I would like for that maternal health hub to be that. And I want to do it with educating people with, it's just about knowing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once you know, they can't take it away from you.
Right.
Once you know the education, you can advocate for yourself.
Yeah. That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hit. That's going to be crazy. I can see, because when you was describing, I'm like, I can see it.
I can see it. Okay, God.
I can see it. I'm
okay,
with you.
God. It's coming.
Yes, it's on its way.
It's coming. We're going to take it one step at a time. Like I tell everything, just like, wake up every day and you give 1%, or 2%, whatever, 1%.
Whatever you got.
Get what you got. Like, every day is not going to be us. It's just not. It's human. But doing your best with what you got. But I hope everyone enjoyed the interview. I hope that something resonated with with the viewers and the listeners. I hope something resonated, and I hope that this will cause. And I prayed about this when on my way here. I was like, God, whatever the conversation is, I just hope that it like puts a seed in someone's head, whether they're pregnant, whether it's postpartum, to say, listen, I can advocate for myself. Or let me look this up so how I can prevent. Or if you have any questions, reach out to Generation Mommy. Like,
yes,
that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We want to be able to help educate the community on their rights, on what's just godly given to them. You have the right to have the best birth experiences. And so it's just about arming yourself and protecting yourself and educating yourself to be able to go into those spaces and say, like, this is what I want. This is my body.
Right.
And this is how it's going to go. No, everything don't always go as planned, but you at least have the information. And so, it's more to that. That's the gist of it, but it's more to that. But yeah. But other than that, everyone be blessed. Like, I know it's trying times. But.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Sunday.
This was
absolutely amazing. And if you found anything that was valuable, which I'm sure you did, definitely subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments for Sunday, I'm sure she'll be able to assist. Yes. So reach out to her or comment in the comment section, and we will be in community with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.